Today we are going to start Unit 6 of Entrepreneurship, and the Unit 6 is Resource Mobilization. In this unit we will learn about how the resources will mobilize from the investor, or we can say the saver, to the industrialist. It can be divided into two parts: primary market and secondary market. And here secondary market is not in the syllabus, so we will start with the primary market. So let's understand the meaning of capital market. Capital market is a market where securities are exchanged, and securities comprises of many type of instrument, but basically they are of two type: debt and equity. Means in capital market we can raise funds from issue of shares or debentures or similar instruments. So shares and debentures are combinedly known as securities, but individually there are various categories in shares, like equity shares and preference shares. Then in preference shares there are also many categories: redeemable, irredeemable, or in debentures also there are various categories. So we will just know the meaning of securities, that is combination of debt and equity instrument. And in the capital market the securities are exchanged, means the general public buy securities and the companies raise funds by issuing securities to general public. The funds from the public goes to the companies, and in return the companies issues them securities. So the capital market are the most important source of raising funds. It mobilizes the financial resources on a nationwide scale, or we can say internationally also. It secures the required foreign capital and know-how. The word know-how here means the technical knowledge or technology to promote economic growth at a faster rate. It ensures the most effective allocation of the mobilized financial resources by directing the same either to such projects which are capable of the highest yield, or to the underdeveloped priority areas where there is an urgent need to promote balanced and diversified industrialization. Or we can say the funds are moving from the general public to the companies. Then capital market is divided into two parts: primary and secondary. And secondary is not in our syllabus this year, so we'll take the primary market. It is also known as new issue market. Primary market is basically to facilitate transfer of resources from saver to the entrepreneurs seeking funds for setting new enterprises, B, expanding, C, diversifying. These are the basic reasons why they need fund. So in primary market the shares are issued first time. It may be issued by the new companies or existing companies, but the basic difference in primary and secondary market is that in primary market the securities are issued first time, and the entrepreneurs who are seeking funds, there are three purposes given. First one is if they want to set up new enterprise, then they need funds. If they want to expand their business, then also they need the fund. And if they want to diversify their funds, means they are going on with multiple product option. So there is lot of requirement of funds, so that's why they raise the funds from the primary market. In primary market, initial issues are also known as, or we can say it is like IPO. The entrepreneurs highly bank on this type of issue to generate funds. When for the first time, entrepreneur for the purpose of obtaining capital funds decides to issue securities to the public. Its first sale is in the primary market. Such issue of security are even referred to as new money issue or IPO. Methods of flotation of new issue. New issue can be of four types: public issue, rights issue, private placement, and offer to the employees. And all these options are not available to a new company. So these are the methods of flotation of new issue. First one is public issue or going public. Public issue is the most popular method of raising capital these days by entrepreneurs. This involves raising of funds directly from the public through the issue of prospectus. So they issue the prospectus, then general public will buy it, give application money with the prospectus, and after completing the first stage, means when application stage is complete, then they will allot the shares. An enterprise organizing itself as a public limited company can raise the required funds commonly by preparing a prospectus. And in this issue, they are required to comply with all the restriction and formalities regarding the initial issue and prospectus drafting, etc. Because you have heard about the minimum subscription and information to the registrar of companies, then registration with the stock exchange, registration with the SEBI. So there are lot of formalities in issuing shares or securities. One of the most difficult problem in the new venture creation process is obtaining finance. If we want to start new business, funds is the most rare thing. So when an entrepreneur decides to go public and become a public company, he or she tend to be in advantageous position because of reaping the following benefits. So now we will move on to the benefits of new issue or public issue. So first advantage is access to capital. Earlier they don't have any funds, or we can say that we can start our company without any funds. The primary advantage of an entrepreneur stand to gain by going public is access to capital. The capital doesn't have to be repaid in case of equity shares, because we know that equity shares are never repaid. They are the owners of the company and they will remain with the company up to the dissolution of the company or liquidation, and it does not involve any interest also. Suppose the company is not getting the profit, then they will not distribute any dividend. If they are getting profit, then also they can retain the profit. So the only reward of IPO investors seek is an appreciation of their investment, means the shares value is increased. Suppose we buy a share 20 years back for rupees 100, and after 20 years, if the company is going in profits, the overall value of the shares will be 10 to 20 times, and they can sell their share anytime. So this is the advantage, and they are also eligible to receive the dividend every year. So there is a benefit in investing in shares, that the value is increasing as well as the returns they are receiving. In dividend, entrepreneur can use capital raise for a variety of purposes, including growth and expansion, Retiring existing debt. Retiring existing debt means repaying the loan. And third point is corporate marketing and development. This may be the option for the use of new issue. And acquisition capital here means acquiring the capital. There are several other advantages also, like mergers and acquisition. A public company can be used, or public company can use stock for businesses to grow through acquisition, or directly we can say that they can merge with another company or acquire a new company. So this can be possible only with the help of funds. So by issuing shares or securities, they can raise fund, then they will go on for merger and acquisition. Higher valuation. Public companies are typically valued more than private companies, so their value is more. Next advantage is benchmark trading price. The trading price of a public company stock serves as a benchmark of the offer price of other securities, means the minimum level of the price. It is also an advantage. Then next is capital formation. Raising capital later is typically easier because of the extra liquidity for the investor. Means once our shares are sold, then we can raise further more capital, and through that capital we can construct our buildings or start new venture, etc. Next benefit is incentive. Stock option and stock incentive can be very helpful in attracting employees. Suppose we are an existing company, then we can offer our share at discounted price to the employees. So they will readily invest in our company because they are employee and they know the situation of the company. So there, from this option also we will get more money. The next one is reduced business requirements. While an underwritten IPO requires significant earning, the lack of earning doesn't keep a private company from going public. Because in IPO there is a guarantee of underwriter, and he will buy our shares if he will not be able to sell them. So there is a guarantee that all of our shares will be sold, and all business requirements will be met out from the funds raised. Next point is less dilution. There is a less dilution of ownership control compared to an IPO. Means there is little bit of dilution of ownership, because if the company is a new one, then there will be no dilution. If the existing company and the category of shares is also existing, then there will be a dilution of control. Means the percentage of ownership of shares will be reduced if it is an existing company. If it is a new company, then there are no existing shareholders, so there will be no dilution of ownership or control. Next advantage is liquidity. A public company provides liquidity for management, minority shareholders and investors. Here liquidity means whenever they want, they can sell their share in the stock exchange through its mechanism and encash their shares. And last is prestige. Added prestige and visibility with customers, suppliers as well as financial community. So these are all the advantage of public issue. The drawbacks. While there are benefits to going public, it also means additional obligation and reporting requirements, such as increasing accountability to the public shareholders. Means once they are going public, after that there is a lot of public accountability. They have the answerability to the general public why company is not performing well, or why dividend is not given, or why there is some problem in the company. So overall the profits are also increasing, but the responsibilities are also increasing. Second one is need to maintain dividend and profit growth trend. Means suppose we have earned a profit of 1000 in a particular year, then 1200, then 1400, 1600. So we have to maintain our growth trend. Then only we will be able to pay the dividend regularly. Next is becoming more vulnerable to an unwelcome takeover. Sometimes there may be chances of a takeover, means someone else who was purchasing our shares. If he purchase more than 51% of share, then he will take over the company and we will be out of the business. So we have to keep a check on this, that how much percentage of shareholding is with a particular shareholder. And next one is need to observe and adhere strictly to the rules and regulation by the governing body. There are a lot of governing bodies like SEBI, Stock Exchange, Company Law Board, so we have to follow them. And there are very strict rules. So it is very difficult, but we can appoint professionals and take their help to following these rules and regulations. Next one is increasing cost in complying with higher level of reporting requirement. There may be chances that the reporting requirement will cost us more, so we'll have to reduce it. And next one is relinquishing some control of the company following the public offering. Sometimes the control is for only the existing company, that the control of shareholders might be decreased. Next is suffering a loss of privacy as a result of media interest. Media also take interest in a public company, and it may present our picture as a growing company, or it may present us as a loss-making entity. So we have to keep a check on this, that what the media is presenting to general public. Methods of flotation in new issue. New issue, first type we have understood, that is going public, and it is second type, that is right issue. Rights issue is a method of raising additional finance from existing shareholders by offering security to them on pro rata basis. Here pro rata means proportionate. So we will issue the shares to the existing shareholders, and it depends on how much shares they hold. It can be in a proportion like 2:1. Suppose a shareholder is owner of 2 shares, then we will issue him 1 more share, so that is right issue, and it is in the pro rata basis, means proportionate basis. Normally through a circular or right issue are proposed to the existing shareholders. In case they are not willing to subscribe, they can renounce the same in favor of another person, means they can transfer it to another person if they are not willing to purchase. This method of issuing security is considered to be inexpensive because there is no media advertisement, no publicity, no paperwork, means no issuing expenses or preliminary expenses, and it does not require any broker, any agent, underwriter, or any prospectus or enlistment. So it is very economic method. Next is private placement. Private placement means the direct sale by a company to its securities to a limited number of sophisticated investors. Sophisticated investor here means big organization who purchase shares in a bulk. For example, UTI, LIC, GIC, or Army Group Insurance, or state level financial corporation. So these are the big groups who invest heavily in a particular company. So we can directly contact these companies or these type of companies and sell our share privately without going public. So there is also an advantage because we do not have to maintain a long list of shareholders. Only one shareholder like UTI can buy our all shares, and there is less procedure, less cost, and it is very beneficial for the company. Next is offer to employees, the stock option or employee stock option. It can also be named as ESOP, Employee Stock Option Plan. Means offering share to the employees. This method enables employees to become shareholders and share the profits of the company, and it will benefit us in higher efficiency, because if the employee purchase the share, they will always think about the profit of the company, because their earnings is now also dependent on the profits of the company besides the salary. Low labor turnover means the employee will not leave the organization. They are offered the stock of the company or securities of the company at a discounted price, and the company is going in profits, then why they will leave the company? Better industrial locations, it is also beneficial, because if we have issued shares to the employee, then from this capital we can go or move on to the new or better location. Low flotation cost, because there is no public issue, we are directly contacting our own employees and issuing shares. And last one is wider or higher generation of funds. So employee who have saved lot of funds can invest in our company, and there will be more funds with the company.